And now we're joined by Seahawks tight end Pharaoh Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. But Pharaoh, I wanted to kick this off because the draft is next week, a week from today. But in 2017, you went undrafted out of Oregon, but you're in your 7th season right now. What would you tell those prospects who don't hear their name called next week? I
would tell them to keep that confidence. It can kind of feel like you're meaningless when you don't hear your name called those 7 rounds. But what I really want them to understand is once they get in that building, it doesn't matter how you got there. It matters that you're there now, and when you leave there, I always wanted the people to say, you know, he's a coach's pet. Get there early, leave late. You know, I remember just being there and going through those emotions, and it's like the pride and the ego of like, you know, you want to do the little things that nobody else in the building wants to do to basically make yourself stand out, because the window of the opportunity coming in as an undrafted free agent is very small. It's a small window of opportunity. So you have to find those little things that can make you stand out, and which a lot of guys that come in from college is not used to, because they're used to making the plays,
right,
making all the big plays. So now you got to find those other little things that front office people are looking for. So that's something that I really want, these young guys to understand, because it's doable.
Great advice right there. So also, it's a new start in Seattle. You're in your first year there, and Mike Macdonald is the new head coach. So to your point, it's kind of a clean slate. So what is the vibe up there?
It's an amazing energy. And I tell you this is a great story, because it's so unconventional what we see in the league. A lot of times when you get these coaching staff hirings, you get a lot of loyalty stuff. It's kind of like a loyalty business. You got guys that you're comfortable with. Mike Macdonald went out and interviewed all prospects and hired who he thought the best was. So now we have a building environment where nobody is connected from previous stops. He didn't bring the people from Baltimore. He went out and hired who he thought was the best at each position. So you got a bunch of great, you got a bunch of individuals who bring in all these different things. So now it's like, when you talk about building a foundation, it seems authentic. It seems real, because now coaches are building, players are building, front office is building. It's all new. So, I've never going into my year 7th, and I've had a new coaching staff every year. So this is the norm for me. So seeing this, it gets me excited.
I love hearing it. They hired our former colleague here and longtime defensive coordinator, head coach Leslie Frazier on that staff as well. But last question, I'm being told we're running a little low on time, but new OC Ryan Grubb, coming from the University of Washington, staying in that area. That's an offense where they threw the ball all over the yard. Mike Macdonald comes from Baltimore, where they ran the ball. What is this offense eventually going to look like?
I think that's the best of the best. I think it'll be very explosive.
Well, there we go. Well, that was quick. Well, on that note, real quick, let's have a little fun. Geno Smith, you guys did your test this week. How the hell was he the fastest guy on the GPS on the top speed meter?
Man, I don't know how, but I was super impressed when I seen that. I was like 21 miles an hour. I think we might have one of the fastest teams. If you look under those boards, it's a bunch of 20s in there. I was like, yeah. Jesus Christ, we got a U.S. track team.
Where were you? Where were you?
I was 19.
Okay, all right.
19. But for me, it's pretty impressive. I'm 268 right now, so I tell everybody,
yeah.
A 200-pound 68 moving at 19 miles an hour is a wrecking ball. That's kind of hard to stop, so you might not want to get in front of that one.
I'm not messing with you. Hey, man, appreciate you stopping through.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.